What's going on, guys? This is Pikachu OTC from Simple Trade. Welcome to another weekly review in which I'll be talking about some runners from the past week. And on the previous weekly review, we talked about the OTC is getting hotter and hotter, and are we on our way to a bull run market? And this week we see the same trend. Stocks going up hundreds of percents on a daily basis. But the highlight of this week is the CBD stocks, and that's due to the federal marijuana legalization bill that officially scheduled for House floor vote next week. The U.S. House of Representatives plans to vote on a bill to federally legalize marijuana for the second time in history next week, congressional leadership confirmed on Thursday. So on March 24th, that announcement was released that next week, meaning this week, there will be a vote to legalize marijuana, and thus all of the CBD stocks started to rise, and some of them even ran hundreds of percents. And just to show you some of those runners, the first one is the company MCOA. I'm not going to review what the company does or talk about anything of its history or directors, because all you really need to know is that MCOA is a marijuana company. And just because of that, the stock ran 280% from the low trips, from the 0006 all the way up to the 0022. Absolutely insane, with very high liquidity. You can see 850 million volume in one day. You could have made a lot of money on that stock, but this is not the only CBD stock in the OTC. The next one is MJNA, which is probably the most impressive one, with a market cap of over 100 million. That also ran with a very nice liquidity, 80%. There was more than $1 million traded here at that day. Another CBD stock that was alerted on our Discord channel at the 0007 and the 0008 is the company NTRR, that also ran about 70%, closed at the high of the day, and may even continue as we head into this week, because unlike MCOA, NTRR float is much better, and it is also a CBD stock. We also have the company GCAN that also ran 78% in 3 days. 3 big nice green candles over here. That was also alerted on our Discord channel, but pretty high by me at the 0029 and the 0030, and I added that it is only in case the CBD goes nuts next week, which is very possible if they vote to legalize marijuana. And the reason I took it on those prices is because the float of GCAN is only 480 million, much better than any other CBD stock out there. And another CBD stock, AZFL, from the low trips, the 0004, went up to the 0007 and might continue as we head into the next week. So as you can see, there are a lot of CBD stocks that ran more than 50%, some even ran more than 100%, and there are more than these 5 stocks. I just decided to cover up those 5. So to sum it all up, keep your eyes on CBD plays and keep your eyes and ears on the vote to legalize marijuana. This discussion will show the face of these CBD stocks. If it will be legalized, you can expect much more volume on any of those 5 stocks that I just covered up, and there are very good chances that they all go up. But if that discussion will get delayed or denied, there are very good odds that all of those CBD stocks that went up will go down. So as always, manage your risks properly, and if you want to know how to manage it the best, make sure to join our Simple Trade Discord community, where we give the best value that you can achieve anywhere regarding the OTC. And now I'll talk about some stocks that ran hundreds of percent that are not related to the CBD, and the first one is MAXD, or as I like to call it, MAXD. The stock ran 157% in 2 days, and there is one huge green candle over here with more than 500 million of volume, very high liquidity. And the reason for that is that the CEO sent on private channels a press release that he sent and published on Reddit. That PR stated that MACD forecasts 2022 revenue to exceed $100 million annually. Those $100 million annually based on existing contracts from in-ground assets, rare minerals, and precious metal programs and 4Q run rate. Now MACD market cap as those news were released was around the $6 to $7 million market cap, and as you recall from the BNOW run cover up, the stock ran about 1,100% because the annual revenues were about $78 million and the market cap of BNOW before the run was around 500,000 only. So just like that stock, we're talking about a share price that by market cap speaking only should be around 10 times more than the current price, and that's why the stock ran 150% in one day. And you can see that the stock price went down day after day, and that's because this CEO of MAXD is well known as a scammer that likes to do pump and dump. But just because that's what people think does not mean that these news are not correct. So we will probably talk more about MAXD in the future. And also, if you want to know how to ride that pump and get a lot of money out of it, consider taking the OTC Oracle course. As always, we alerted that stock on our Discord channel even 3 days before the news, and also added the day that the news was released, and enjoyed a 150% run with very high liquidity. The next stock is SPRV, and as you can see on the chart, from the bottom of the 0006, it went up all the way to 0031. We're talking about around 400% of a runner in only 4 days. Very nice. And the reason for that run is actually one of the patterns that is learned on the OTC Oracle course. So if you want to learn this kind of pattern, consider taking that course. The link is down in the description. I will not expand why the stock ran so high, because it is simply the pattern from the OTC Oracle course. Now we'll move on to the final stock of this weekly review, and that stock is DMAN. The stock ran 112% in 1 day or 2 days, depending on where was your entrance point. We alerted that stock right here on that day, March 21st, where there was a lot of selling power, and just like the OTC Oracle course, we buy the stocks when nobody wants them and we sell when everyone does. And what happened 2 days later? The company released massive news that got the stock to gap up around 80%. It opened almost at the 018, which is absolutely nuts, and then continued its run all the way up to 0215, giving us a 112% of a run, in which 80% of it is only a gap up. Imagine waking up and your stock 80% up and the market is not even open. This is absolutely beautiful to see. And those massive news that got the stock to gap up so hard was published pre-market March 23rd, and it is that DMAN enters into exclusive agreement with Sun Supply LLC to distribute 180,000 lbs of pharma-grade cannabis a year. Now, the news itself is very nice, but the most interesting section is this one. The first phase require a total capitalization of $245 million. Now, just like we talked about the BNOW, and just like we talked about the MAXD run, the DMAN market cap before that news was around $7 to $8 million only, and now we're talking about capitalization of $245 million. So this is very nice news, and that's why the stock gapped up 80%. And if you were on our Discord channel, you had all the time in the world to add any of the prices between the penny and the 018, 10. And that was it about this weekly review, guys. To sum it all up, put your eyes on the CBD stocks. This sector will be the hottest next week for good or bad. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to drop a like, comment down below, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button so you don't miss the future content. If you're not on our Simple Trade Discord community yet, make sure to go to the description and join us right now. Once again, thank you for watching, and I wish you all a green and a profitable week.